Morning. Oh, this bed hair. I don't think I need to explain what bed hair means. I need coffee.
Alright, I've got my coffee and all is good. I'm wide awake and I'm raring to go. Raring to go is an expression which means excited and ready to begin doing something new. Today I've got a jam-packed schedule. Jam-packed means completely full. Honestly, I've got 9 lessons and 2 trial lessons today with 2 potential new students. But I wouldn't actually have it any other way. If we say we wouldn't have it any other way, this means that we enjoy things just the way that they are. And so, before I begin teaching today, I just wanted to tell you why I'm making this video and what you can expect. Well, of course, the main reason for this video is to try and teach English learners new additional vocabulary in context. However, I've been thinking about making a video like this for a long time because I also want to share some tips and advice with other ESL teachers who are maybe thinking about taking the plunge and becoming an online teacher. If we take the plunge, which is an idiom, it means basically just to jump into a difficult situation, usually after quite a lot of thought. So let me tell you about a typical day, my typical day as an ESL teacher. Well, first of all, you saw from the beginning of this video that I wake up with the lark. If we wake up with the lark, this means we wake up very early. A lark is a bird. It makes a beautiful sound when it's singing, and it's normally the first bird that we'd hear in the morning. So I wake up with the lark. It takes me about 1 hour to actually wake up to the point where my brain is working, 2 cups of coffee later. And then I generally get to my desk about 30 minutes before my first class. I'll spend that 30 minutes basically reviewing and going back and recapping. Recap is a verb, which means to remind yourself of something which happened. So I like to recap through all my notes that I made from the last lesson with each student, just to remember where we got to and what we did in the last class. I then like to open all of my lesson plans and materials ready ahead for the day, so I'm not scrambling between each class in my short break to open and prepare the resources. And then I like to spend 10 or 15 minutes basically just checking the news. I believe it's really important that you keep abreast with the news so that you always have something interesting to talk about with your students at the beginning of the class. You know, small talk, which is a noun, is important. Small talk happens after the initial greeting. You'd say, hi, hello, how are you, blah, 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 and then some small talk. It can be quite awkward if you just move from hi, hello, how are you, straight to the topic that you're going to be looking at that day in that class. I use the expression to keep abreast. Keep abreast of something. Actually, in modern day times, we only really use this expression to talk about keeping abreast with the news. It's a very old expression. It just means to follow, to keep up with something. So I like to try and keep abreast of the news so I have something to talk about when we have small talk at the beginning of the class. Okay, I really need to do all of what I just said right now. I need to prepare myself for the day. It's going to be a very, very busy day and I love it. So I'll come back here a little bit later and check in with you. I'm going to record my day so you can see what it looks like. And then later I'll come back and I'm going to give you some tips and advice, both for ESL teachers and for students who are thinking about teaching or learning English online. Catch you in a bit. I absolutely love teaching English online. It's a real rush of adrenaline, actually, you know, when you're face to face with another human and they expect something from you and it's your job to deliver what they expect. And so I love it. It's exciting. I love engaging with each of my students. I love seeing how they learn and develop new skills. I love seeing them laugh. I love helping students get where they want to get in life. Many students are learning English because they want to change their career, or perhaps they'd like to study abroad, or maybe they want to even move abroad, you know, take the plunge and move to a different country. To take the plunge is an idiom. It means to jump in and do something difficult. And you know, honestly, it takes balls. And I'd say that 50% of my students are students that are looking to better their lives in some way. 50% maybe are just studying English for pleasure, and 50% are looking to learn English so that they can better their lives. And that usually involves immigration, and as I mentioned, that takes balls. Okay, this is an expression which means it takes courage, bravery, both adjectives. And so, teaching online is very much about matching your students' ambition. If somebody has decided that they want to move themselves and or their family to another country, they're dedicated to doing that, and you have to be dedicated to teaching them. It's important. And so I just love it. I love the whole process. I love talking to people. Sometimes I do feel like I'm kind of stealing a living. To steal a living means, well, basically to get away with doing nothing and earning money. I mean, that's not true. You will see that I work hard. However, I'm a very outgoing person. I enjoy talking to people. And basically, the majority of my day is just talking to people. That's great. The benefit for me as a teacher is that by discussing different topics, different subjects with students, I get to hear from real people what their opinions are about some of the most challenging topics that we have to discuss, such as the environment, politics, just whatever. They're maybe not the best examples. Food, it doesn't matter. Pick a topic. But when you speak to people, rather than sourcing your information from a newspaper or the news, you really get, I believe, a better indication of what people all around the world think. And so I actually feel quite privileged to work as an English teacher because it gives me so much information about what people think and what people believe in different parts of the world. And it's absolutely brilliant. I really, really love this experience. Hopefully you can see from the images that I've been showing you just how much I enjoy teaching. I teach with a smile on my face. Okay, what a hectic and crazy day, but I love it. Hectic is an adjective which just means very busy. As you could see, I've had a very hectic day. It's about 8:30 now. I just put my children to bed, and now I just want to complete this vlog, get it edited and put it out so that hopefully you can learn something. So yeah, I wanted to come back and basically give some tips to teachers and students who are considering teaching English online or learning English online. So I am going to cheat a little bit. I've got some notes on my phone if you see me glancing in this direction. Glance is a verb. It means to quickly look somewhere. We may glance at our watch, for example. So for teachers, when you teach online, it's more difficult to create the energy that you would in a real classroom. So the first tip is, bring an extra 10% of energy to the class with you. This will help to keep your students engaged. Next, I would say that it's very important to make notes after each lesson. This is true whether you're teaching online or in the real world, but make notes after each class so that you can help yourself remember what you did with the student in the last class. Write down notes about their progress, their weaknesses, so that you can try to really help the student. If you come to each class cold, without preparation, without reading notes, I believe it's more difficult to teach. I made this mistake when I began teaching, and so these days I always make notes immediately after the class so I can keep track. Keep track means to follow, similar to keep abreast of, but keep track of the student. And another great tip that a teacher once gave me is to write down one positive thing from your day that you did in class and write down one thing that didn't quite work as you would have liked. This helps you to feel good about what you're doing and makes you feel more confident about the job you're doing. But also, it's important to be self-critical, because when you're very honest with the mistakes that you've made, it allows you to see what it is that you're doing wrong, and then that allows you to identify the areas that you need to work on. Personal development and growth is important, so write down this every single day and it will help you to grow as a teacher. Next, create your own materials. If you haven't heard of canva.com, check it out. Now, if you're a new teacher starting out, I think it is okay to use materials that other people have made, download them from the internet or use websites with your students in class. However, once you reach a certain level, I believe that there's really no excuse for using other people's materials. okay, you need to try and stand out from the crowd. Students have way more choice when they're looking for a teacher online. To stand out from the crowd means to make yourself different from everybody else. So what is it that you're going to do for the student that other teachers can't do? Make sure that you stand out from the crowd. Create your own lessons, put your heart and soul into it, and the students will feel that and they will appreciate it. Next up, invest in good equipment. You don't have to spend a fortune to do this, but you do need to have a good quality microphone and a good quality camera. Why not? Again, it's about creating the best experience for the student, and these things are quite inexpensive these days. Inexpensive is an adjective which means cheap, but it's just a little bit more formal. You can pick up a decent microphone and a decent webcam for £50 combined if you look around. The technology is cheap these days. Technology is cheap these days. No with technology. That was a mistake because I'm tired. And the last tip I would give teachers, again, this applies to teaching face-to-face or teaching online. Don't try to be a jack of all trades. That means don't try to do everything, okay? In the beginning, when you're inexperienced, pick something that you believe you're good at, pick something that you enjoy teaching and stick to it. Don't tell a student that you can do what they want you to do if you're not skilled at doing it, because this will create so much additional work for you, it's not going to be worth it. Pick one or two things that you enjoy and hone your craft. To hone your craft means to develop that thing so that you become the best at it. This will give you a USP, a unique selling point. This will make you stand out from the crowd. Develop your own materials, pick something you're good at, and become the best at it. Over time, you can add more skills and you can teach more things, but don't give yourself a headache in the beginning, okay? Now, moving on, students. Well, I've only really got a few bits of advice. Firstly, have an open mind, okay? Things are different now than they were 20 years ago. Excuse me. The way people teach is constantly evolving. Evolve is a verb which means changing to suit the environment. So you may find teachers who are doing things differently to the old way of doing things. Sit down, read this, listen to this, complete this grammar exercise, which is fine, was fine, but I don't teach like that, and I know many other teachers don't teach like that. So have an open mind to learning in a different way. Learning online is a different way, so have an open mind. Why should you do that? Because of the internet, of course. The internet is the greatest resource available to any teacher. I cannot actually imagine working in a classroom without the internet. You know, you have access to YouTube, endless videos, articles to read. There's so much you can do with the internet. So, number one, have an open mind. Number two, make plenty of notes. The same as what I advise teachers to do. Students, make notes. It's important. Keep track of what you're doing so you can look back in the future and see quickly what you learned. Next, study regularly. That doesn't mean take 10 lessons a week with a teacher. It just means make English part of your life. Don't just take one lesson a week and expect to see fast results, because you won't. Find a YouTube channel that you like. Find a podcast that you like, in English, of course. Listen to them. Pick a book, a magazine, a newspaper. Read English. Listen to English. Watch English. Practice with an English teacher, and your level will improve much, much faster. And talk English. If you don't have anyone to talk to, you've got a mirror. Talk to yourself. Students, this is just a request from all online teachers and real teachers in real life. Please be considerate to your teacher. If you cancel at the last minute, we have no opportunity to fill that time with somebody else. And that means that we have no opportunity to earn money. I'm a family man. I've got 2 kids. If you cancel, while I'm in bed 16 hours before the lesson the next day, I'm not going to make any money. So, it's a commitment. I'm committed. I believe that most English teachers are committed. And, the level of commitment that I give to my students, as a minimum, I expect that back. So, I don't cancel classes. I don't miss lessons unless there's an internet problem, of course, which I cannot control. I make a commitment to you. You must make that commitment to the teacher and to yourself, please. And finally, I would say, equally, you must invest in some decent equipment, because if you have a bad camera or a bad microphone and your teacher cannot see you or hear you properly, that makes our job much more difficult. Why? Because we use your facial cues, that means what you do with your face, to understand what you're thinking, what you're going to say, and we can see your body language with a good clear camera. With a bad quality camera, we can't see any of that. And that makes it more difficult, which means that the experience you're going to have will not be the best possible. As I mentioned, they're very inexpensive. In fact, you can buy a camera for the same price as one lesson. So invest in a camera, invest in yourself, invest in your future, and that's it. I'm tired. I'm sorry this vlog is a bit longer than usual. I have been trying to stick to around 7 minutes, but whatever. It didn't happen today. I'm still learning how to make videos. And on that note, basically just means I'm so tired, I don't know how to think anymore, my brain is done. On that note, means to conclude, I suppose, kind of. On that note, this is day 7 of my 7-day daily English in context vlog challenge that I set myself. I have achieved it. Woo! And I've really enjoyed it. So I may live to regret this. If we live to regret something, it means that later we'll look back and think we made the wrong decision. However, I'm going to keep going. Why not? I'm going to set myself a new challenge and push myself to achieve more. So I'm going to continue, and I'm going to make a vlog like this every day for a month. We're 7 days in. I got 21 to go, 75% left. Let's see if we can do it. Come along on the journey with me and see if you can learn a thing or two about English. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.